Hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's start today's session. Uh, so where we will, so I think in the last session we were discussing regarding cloud computing, and I hope you got an idea of what is cloud right now. And also we just talked about what is a server in a basic level. So I hope that is also clear for you, right? Okay. Now let's get into operating system. Okay, so I'm not discussing operating system in very deeper level or anything. Basic. So of course, in a day-to-day basis, whoever is working in that industry, or it's a daily life thing that you are dealing with the devices or everything has an operating system. So what is operating system in your understanding? What is it? Yeah, Ajmal.
It is a like medium or bridge between software and hardware.
It is a medium in between. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. So what exactly it helps us to do? What exactly it contains? Why do we use operating system? What will happen if there is no operating system? Got Midul, Somjit, Yadu, Krishna.
A software that can handle both
Mm-hmm.
software and hardware.
Software that can handle what?
Means uh, can handle it is interconnection between software and hardware.
Interconnection. Okay. In a simple terms, like let's put it like a person who doesn't know anything about operating system. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
operating system talks to user and
Mm-hmm.
get the information and
Mm-hmm.
move to hardware like CPU, then window app
Mm-hmm.
user like that.
Yeah. So it's like a helper, right? Okay, like
Yes.
there is user and there is hardware. Okay, and sorry. So the operating system in between act as a helper so that a user can communicate with the hardware easily and hardware can return the output easily. Okay, so just imagine two people. Okay, two people. One guy is from north side of India and they know only Hindi. And one guy is from Karnataka, he knows only Kannada. Okay, so the communication between these two guys are easy or difficult?
It will be difficult
Will be difficult, right? So uh, at this situation, why it is difficult?
because we don't know the language, right?
Language, different language, exactly. So they don't know the language of each other, correct? Okay, same like that. A human have a language and a machine have a language. Does anybody know what is the language of machine?
0 and 1.
Zeros and ones, right? Okay, yes. The machine language is not understandable by human, and a human language is not understandable by what? By the machine. Okay, it is zeros and ones, binaries. Okay, so of course the communication is difficult. Okay, so what if there is a guy, there is a mutual friend of them who knows both the Kannada language and Hindi language. So that guy can help, correct? That guy can translate what is that North guy is speaking into Kannada and transfer it to the Kannada guy. And whatever the Kannada guy is speaking in Kannada will be translated to Hindi and will pass on to who? The North guy. Right. So there is an importance for that translator or whoever, or act as a mediator over there. Right? Yes. So here, kind of like that concept only, but they do extra. Okay. So this operating system, you know what exactly an operating system contains? It contains obviously codes. Codes like the programming languages, either C, C++, or whichever the languages. It contains codes. Okay, what exactly a code does? Like it has a set of instruction. Okay, so what is that set of instruction is going to say? If like when you open any application, okay, when you click on it, like when you press what do you call it as like on the application, like when you open the application, what exactly is happening? It is opening a home screen, like a splash screen or whatever, right? Okay, so it is actually redirecting you to the particular page. Correct. So this is going to happen only if it is coded. Let's say if it is coded that directly when application is open, directly take them to logout screen. If that is a code, then obviously if you open an application, it will go to the logout page only. Right. So it's based on codes. So what to be done? Okay, what to be done in what situation? So let's say we are opening an application calculator. Okay, we are opening the calculator. So when we press 1 in the calculator, are we seeing 1 only, right? Are we seeing 2? No, right? Okay, it is displaying only 1. So when you press 1 over there, we have a code that is saying that print 1. Okay, then you do plus. That is, you know what exactly plus does, right? So 1 plus 1. So is it giving you 3 or 2? So it's going to do the computation over there, correct? The correct computation. Plus means it is addition. So that is also coded, right? So what exactly an operating system contains? It contains a set of instruction that if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. That's what exactly contains in an operating system. Okay, same. So when we don't have an operating system in your device, then human will try to talk to hardware, because you people know that in hardware only everything is stored, but hardware will not be able to understand and cannot give you any output. Same situation, vice versa. That's where the operating system comes into picture, where it helps you, a human, to talk to the hardware, and hardware can give the output back to the human. Okay, fine. So not only that, I told you yesterday, I have mentioned regarding the CPU, RAM, ROM, everything, right? So when you open an application, let's say you're opening an application known as Notepad. Okay, Notepad is an application. Also, you're opening another application known as, let's say, Excel. Okay, both are two different applications and both require two different kind of capacities, or what do you call it as, like, just like I mentioned yesterday, two people are doing the same job, right? Okay, so based on their capacity, the operating system has to allocate the CPUs, the processing power, the RAM, the ROM, and everything to that application. Okay, because in order to open an Excel is different than opening a Notepad. Okay, because maybe at that, Notepad would be lightweight. Okay, because it is a blank screen where you can enter everything in a text format, right? So basically it is lightweight, meaning it doesn't require that much amount of CPU or that much amount of RAM or ROM to run that application. But Excel is not like that. Okay, even you will understand that. Try to just go to your laptop and try to open Notepad and Excel. You'll understand that Notepad will be open within less than few seconds, but your Excel is going to take a little bit more time. Okay, because in order to run that, it requires more based on the size of that particular application. Okay, it requires a little more, processing power, little more RAM, little more ROM than the other application. So who does this? Who allocates this? Okay, when you open Excel, who allocates that, these many CPUs required for this particular application to open and work? So who does that? Your operating system is going to do. Because your operating system has a clear understanding of what is your hardware is. Okay, so what is your hardware capacity? Everything they know. That's why they know to allocate how much they require. Same like you might have seen, like when you open a browser, when you are adding multiple tabs. Okay, based on what exactly you are running in that particular tab, there is a RAM required for that. Sometimes you might have felt that opening too much tab and working on multiple tasks is actually going to reduce your performance, right? So what do we usually do? We usually close most of the tabs that requires most RAM and processing power, right? So that's much important an operating system is. Okay, have you got a basic understanding of operating system? I hope you know, but in this is a basic level of it. You might have an understanding of it, obviously. Understood?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now, yes. Currently, what are the operating system that you know that are there in the market?
Windows and Linux.
Windows and Linux. Only Windows and Linux?
Windows, Linux, Mac.
Mac. Okay. Anything else?
Chrome OS.
Android.
Chrome OS. Okay, fine. What about Android? What about iOS? Yeah. Okay, fine. So basically, we'll talk about Windows, Mac, and Linux, right? Okay. So let me just first of all, I'm going to take you to Linux actually, because I wanted to start with the Linux. So Linux operating system is, most widely. It's actually nobody's, either they will go for Windows when it comes to laptops. Either they will go for Windows or Mac. Nobody is going for what? Linux, right? They don't do it. Okay. But why? But when it comes to servers, okay, when it comes to servers, the most widely used operating system is Linux. Okay, most widely used system is Linux. Windows is there. I'm not telling it is not there. It is there. But Linux is the most widely used operating system when it comes to server and cloud. Okay, so that is why let's talk about Linux first. Okay. Now, what is Linux is like? How come you might have heard about Unix? Ajmal, have you heard about Unix?
I had.
Yeah. Do you know what is the difference between Unix and Linux?
Not sure.
Okay. So Unix was that, Windows is free. Can we have Windows for free?
No.
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 Can we have Mac for free?
No.
No, these are all what? Paid licenses, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So meanwhile, Windows was there. There was Unix operating system. That was the origin, like what you say, parent, you can say. Okay, Unix came into picture. It is completely like there is GUI. You know what is GUI and CLI, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what exactly? Yeah.
User interface.
Graphical.
Interface.
Exactly.
And
Graphical
interface.
user interface and yes, command line interface. So Linux also have GUI. You can actually get GUI from it, no problem. But when it comes to when you compare Windows and Mac, they are fully focused on what? GUIs. That's why you can, people are going behind, Mac and Windows rather than Linux, because the Linux GUI, they're not concentrated on GUIs. Okay. However, now first operating system that came into picture, which is more concentric on command line interfaces, Unix. Okay, the Unix was paid actually. It was not free, but some of the charges, but not what do you call it as expensive than Windows or Mac. Mac itself is actually using some of the Unix commands and Unix what do you call it as base actually. So this Unix at that particular time was open, like the source code and all was open. Okay, but still it was paid, right? It was paid. The Windows source code as well as the Mac source code and all is open. Is it open for everybody to see? What do you think?
No.
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 It is only open for who? The organization. If it is Windows, obviously the Microsoft is handling the codes of it. If it is Mac, Apple is controlling it, right? You don't have any access to it. Okay, but what exactly the good thing about Unix is? It was open. Okay, it was not free, but it was open. So what do you mean by open source? Okay, what is the benefit of having open source? Does anybody know?
It's free.
Everyone can get the access.
Access, getting access.
Code.
Okay, okay. Let me tell you, because open source in the sense everybody can get the source code. You cannot do or edit the Unix operating system. That is not possible. But what you can do, you can copy the code or refer the code, and if you want, you can build your own operating system using it. Okay, so you are keeping Unix operating system source code as a referral. Okay, you're not accessing or editing what the Unix operating system source code. Instead, you are referring it. What only thing what you can do is you can copy the operating system source code. That's what you can do. Okay, and that could be done using what? Unix actually. So what people have done? People have started creating, because of its lightweightness. Unix was actually, when it comes to servers and all, Unix was giving good performance, because Windows and Mac is so concentrated on graphics, and it takes a lot of processing power and RAM and ROM to even to run an application or anything. It will take a lot amount of specifications, correct? So whereas Unix was not like that. Unix was paid, but however, it was lightweight rather than when you compare the other operating systems. So people started building operating system using what? Unix, like from the referral. Okay, from the referral of Unix. Okay, not everything is it's not exactly the copy paste. They referred. Okay, it's all about you preparing a project, document or something by referring multiple, referral, what do you call it as documents, right? Same like that. So you just change something, and you create your operating system. So have you heard about Sun Solaris? Anybody? Sun Solaris.
Yes.
Yeah. So Sun Solaris was an operating system, okay, which was booming. I think in 2003, that period, that particular period, Sun Solaris was booming like anything. Okay, just like currently you people are going for certification behind Red Hat and all this stuff, right? Like that, Sun Solaris was booming at that time. Okay, so Sun Solaris is actually a derivative of, what do you mean derivative? It's like a child, you can say, but it's not a child, but derivative you can say, because it actually took reference of Unix operating system source code, and they built the Sun Solaris. Also, HP, HP, right? The laptop brand I'm talking about. They have also referred this Unix by to build a operating system for themselves. Like I think it's HP UX if I'm not wrong. Okay, so at this particular time, a lot of companies like they have actually made use of this Unix operating system source code and they build their own. Okay, but these all were what? Paid. Okay, these all were paid operating systems. So that's when there is a guy known as Linus Torvald. He's a professor, has come into picture and thought, why not I build a operating system which is free for everybody and which is simple for everybody to learn? Because when you compare the commands between Unix and I don't know, like some guy has said they have studied computer science, right? Few people might have had a subject known as Unix operating system. So it is actually different. The command that you use in Unix is a little bit different, almost same, but it is a little bit simplified when it comes to Linux. Okay, so this guy had built an operating system from the Unix referrals, okay, by being open source and free. Okay, so you don't need what? You don't need any licenses in order to purchase, this operating system. You can, it is freely available. Okay, so that's how the Linux comes into picture. Okay, so that's the difference between Linux and Unix. So you can say Unix is a parent. Okay, you can say somewhat parent, but the correct term would be Linux is a derivative of Unix. Okay, clear? Now again, multiple you people might have heard about Red Hat, Ubuntu, Fedora, SUSE, CentOS. Yeah, heard about it?
Yes.
Yeah. So we people say that, okay, this is all Linux, right? Some people might know, some people might not, don't know. So what exactly these are? So again, you know what happened? As Linux is open source, as Linux is free, because of its simplicity, people again started creating new operating system from Linux too. Okay, Linux operating system. So there is these are derivatives of Linux actually. Okay, so the Red Hat, the Ubuntu, the CentOS, SUSE, Fedora, these all are. Have you heard about Kali Linux?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like used for hacking purposes and
Hacking.
everything. Yeah, exactly. So the Kali Linux is also actually a derivative of Linux. Okay, so you can say Linux is a parent for all these. So it's like some more organization, Red Hat. Red Hat has a license, right? You don't get for free. Okay, but what did they do? They took a referral of Linux operating system and they built their own operating system and they're selling it. Okay, same. CentOS, Ubuntu, these people are also doing the same. Okay, fine. So this is how the history of Linux comes into picture. Now we have an idea, right? What is Linux versus Unix? What is Linux versus Red Hat and CentOS and Ubuntu's? Yeah, got an idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is is your AWS account ready? Anybody who have created today new? Let me just log in, okay? Okay. Now, by using Linux, okay, by using Linux, you know what Amazon has also done? Amazon also created a distribution. Like these are called as Linux distribution also. Either you can say derivatives, or you can say distributions. Okay, so Red Hat is a distribution of Linux. You can say that. Same like that, Amazon also created one, which is Amazon Linux. Okay, so let me show you. See, if you want to currently, if you want to install the download and set up Linux on your device, let's see if it is your Windows, what do you do? But Ajmal, what do you used to do?
Have to download the OS
we
from
need to download.
Do you use VirtualBox?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So you need to install those and you need to set up. Yeah, that's what then you access it from your local machine. Correct. That's what you do. But here, to practice it, okay, if you have an AWS account, to have a Linux, it's simple currently. Okay, what you can do if you have if you want a server currently, you can come to your AWS account. You can log into your AWS account, and I want you to search for EC2. Okay, this is for Linux, purpose. That's why I'm just showing only this. Don't worry, what is EC2? It's actually a server. Okay, you're renting a server from AWS. That's what it is, EC2. Okay, but currently we will learn Linux, a bit of Linux, not everything. So for that matter, you don't need VirtualBox or nothing. You can use this AWS account itself. From this, you can rent a Linux machine and you can learn it. No problem. Okay, so this is what you will get. This is a landing page. And here you have an option in the left side. Can you see instances? Click on it. Okay, currently you people will have nothing. I do have something because my account is used by multiple people. So, okay. I'll just go for somewhere where we don't have anything. Okay, this is what you might see. So you're showing no instances. So I will click on, I'm going to show you how can you have a Linux machine in your AWS account. Okay, simple step only. Don't worry about the remaining steps. Just follow these. Click on this launch instance button. Okay, then you will land to a particular page where a lot of information has to be given, but only two things will be giving. Okay, one is the name. It's also not mandatory, but just give it. Okay, let's say test. Okay, go down. Okay, so you might find something like Amazon Linux. By default, it is selected, so that's why you don't need to do anything. Okay, just keep the default selection. So Amazon Linux. Then go down. You might see something known as key pair. So this is something that is required. Okay, for time being, just for today, you can go for proceed without a key pair. But that's not a good practice. But currently, okay, let's go for without a key pair. Okay. Nothing. You don't have to do anything else. Just click on this orange button, launch instances. Okay, that's it. Okay. Now, if you want to go back, okay, if you want to go back to the instance dashboard, there are two things that you can do. Either you can use this breadcrumbs over here from here. Else you can just go down till the end of the window, and here you have an option as view all instances. So these two way you can go back. Okay. Else you can use this hamburger and click on instances also. Okay. So these are the way you can turn, go back. Fine. Whichever is easier for you, you can choose that. So what's happening here? There is a EC2 instances whose name is test Linux has been launched. And what is the status of it? It is running. Okay. So let's say, Ajmal, can you say if somebody is telling you there is a server and they want to install a Linux operating system on it and want to set up that particular server up and running. Okay. Did you do that, Ajmal? Did you do the server setup or anything? The physical server setup?
No.
No, I have not done. Okay. So does anybody know that how many days it will take? Anybody have any knowledge about it? No? No. Fine, no problem. So it will take a minimum of, okay, business working days I'm talking about, 6 to 7 business working days for a particular servers to be up and running. Okay, first of all, what? You need to have a physical server. Okay, I'm talking about this is how do you set up this in an on-prem, okay? And second of all, okay, first you bought a server, you got it delivered and power supply. Then you go ahead and you need of course, you need a guy who can provide an internet connection to it so that you can connect your server and configure it, right? Okay, you need to do the what? If you want to do, if you have to do the virtualization, right? Using whatever the hypervisor is that you want, right? Then you need to install the operating system. Okay, make sure you're doing the networking configuration is correct, switch configuration, firewall, right? So actually, there is a lot of people working on a particular physical server to be up and running. Of course, it will take. So the people from the data center itself is going to say that to particular server to be up and running, this 6 to 7 business working days it will take. Okay, but currently for launching, for having an EC2 instances, sorry, a server, okay, a virtual server from an EC2 instance from AWS, how many minutes it took you to be up and running? Is it 7 business working days?
No.
No. Then?
I
2-3
think we can
minutes.
launch in.
It's like less than what? Less than 30 seconds, less than a minute, right?
Yes.
Yes. So that's the biggest difference between, cloud and on-prem. Because that's what I mentioned yesterday. Remember the definition of cloud computing? Cloud computing is an on-demand delivery of IT resources. It's not about, 1 week later. It's not about, a few days later. It's about today. It's about now. Okay. That's what you need to understand. Okay. So now you have a Linux machine with you. Okay. The specification and all I'll tell you. However, you have it with you. Okay. Now, how do we connect? Because if you're doing VirtualBox and if you're connecting, you can connect it via your local machine. But this is your AWS account, right? How do you connect this machine right now? Okay, can you connect within AWS account? Yes, you can. Okay, so by default, there is an option here. Can you see connect? Yeah. So for that, if you want this particular connect button to be enabled, the first thing that you have to do is you have to select the machine. Okay, just tick the box. That's what I'm meaning by select it. Okay, so select it and click on connect. Okay, and if you just go down, don't change anything. If you just go down, again, you can see an orange button connect. Okay, so when you click on connect, a new tab is going to open and you will find a black screen. This is nothing but a shell. This is a user interface where you communicate with the Linux operating system. Okay, can you see it? Yeah, so successfully we have launched a Linux server and we have successfully connected also by using Amazon EC2 Instant Connect. Are we clear?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, so let's get into tiny details. One thing is like by default, okay, you can see a particular line over here. Does anybody know what is this? What do we call for this?
Root directory.
Sorry?
Root directory.
No, not directory. I'm talking about the entire thing, like over here until here, where you input
Path,
your.
Path, is that path?
Path. Okay, it says prompt, command prompt. Okay, prompt. Fine, because prompt is nothing but where you enter input your what commands. Okay, not only for that, even if it is Windows for the Windows PowerShell also you can see that. Okay, which is the prompt. Okay, so there is some explanation over here, right? You might not have seen in the local windows and all, but here there is some explanations. Okay, let me just break it down for you. Okay, what exactly this is meaning by. So let me just copy this entire thing and explain it to you. Okay. So first of all, okay, there is an open bracket. Okay. And you can able to see something known as EC2-user. Okay. So what exactly it is saying? It is actually a username. See, when you have a Windows machine, you can create multiple user in Windows. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no? Yes, right? Okay. So you can create user known as ABC. You can create a user known as XYZ, right? But by default, there will be one user. What is that?
Admin.
By default, there will be one user, right?
Yes.
Yes, what is it? What is it called for?
Admin.
Administrator, right? Yes. Same like that, Linux also has administrator, but we don't say administrator, we say root. Root user, we say. ROOT. Okay, root user. Fine. So let's talk about it. So same like that, there is another user created by this particular user is created by Amazon, because this is a Amazon Linux, right? Amazon Linux is a Linux distribution created by Amazon. So they have all the privilege or capability to create whatever they want, correct? So what did they do is they created a user known as EC2-user in every distribution of theirs and kept it. Okay, so they kept EC2-user as a default user. It's not administrator user, it's a default normal user. Okay, so whatever you see over there is a username. Okay, currently it is EC2-user, but it could be some other user also. It could be ABC, it could be XYZ, based on, if you want to create, you can create it. You can switch it to that user, just like you switch from your Windows, you can switch, right? When you log out, you can switch to another user, right? See, so it is actually saying the username. Okay, now what is the next thing what exactly they're saying? They're saying IP address. Okay, does anybody know about IP address? Of course, you might have heard about it. Can anybody tell me what is IP address? If you know.
Module address.
Internet protocol.
Network address.
Okay, Internet Protocol is the abbreviation. What exactly it is? What is used for?
So network address.
It's the network address for what?
Virtual address for machine.
Machine. Why an IP address is required for a machine? What do you think so?
For sending, getting and sending request.
Post getting. That's not clear for me. Midal, if you want, you can explain in Malayalam, no problem. Yes?
Communicate with the device.
To communicate with the device. To communicate with device. Where? Okay, if you want to communicate, you have MAC address, no?
Server.
If you want two device to communicate, there is MAC address. Then why IP address?
Server module like Wi-Fi.
Okay, somebody said IP address. IP means IP stands for Internet Protocol, right? Okay. But what is MAC address, everybody? You're understanding.
Media
Just your
access control. Media access control. It is a machine address.
Machine address.
Yes.
So do you think what is the difference between MAC address and IP address?
MAC address is provided by the company which it is inbuilt in. Yeah, manual. MAC is provided by
IP is provided by?
IP is provided by internet provider.
Exactly. That's what you need to know. When do you require MAC address and when do you require an IP address? That's what you need to understand here. Okay. So MAC address is a unique address. It's like a DNA. Okay. So a DNA can be repeated. What do you think? Let's say a biometry.
No.
Okay,
no,
can be
no.
repeated? No, right? Never. Okay. Same
No.
like that. A MAC address cannot be repeated for machines. It's a unique identification given to a machine whenever it is producing. Okay, now so none of the devices will have a same MAC address. Okay, but IP address is not like that. IP address can be repeated, just like you have name. Okay, let's say Ajmal. Is there only person in the world who has name known as Ajmal? No, right? Okay, it can be repeated. So when do we use this IP address? That's what you need to understand. So as it stands for Internet Protocol, okay, IP address is used by a machine when your machine is connected to a internet. Okay, fine. That brings me to another question. What is network? What do you mean by network? What do you mean by networking? Generally, what is networking?
Connecting with the people.
Connecting with the people, right?
Device.
Yeah, connecting with, exactly. So what is networking means? Connecting between people, or when we say digitally,
Number of
you can say
connected with the different devices.
exactly. So when we say a network means, we say that multiple devices connected to each other, right? That's a network. We say that, right? Networking means, okay, they are communicating each other, right? Exactly. So the main thing about connecting to each other is for what? Communication, right? Okay. So see, let's say I am communicating with Midul, physically, okay, and I'm communicating with Midul virtually. Okay, so when I'm communicating with him physically, what exactly happening? There are two human people face to face communicating each other, correct? Okay, so there is no internet involved in between, right? Okay, but when we are connecting virtually, who is involved? Our device is involved. Okay, but if you want to connect, virtually, our devices has to be connected to internet, correct? If Midul don't have internet connection, will he be able to connect to this particular Teams meeting?
No.
No. So actually Midul is connected, or Midul's device is connected? Device is connected, correct? Okay. So actually the communication is happening between Midul's device and my device. Okay. So if I want to communicate with Midul physically, what do? I might go to his home, or he might comes to my home. Okay. So if we want to go for, if I want to go to his home, what is that something that I need? First thing I should know his address, right? Yeah. Where do he live? Correct. That's what I need. If I don't have that, will I be able to? No, right? Same vice versa. He can't come to my home also if he doesn't know my address. Correct. Okay. So here, when two devices are connecting to each other in internet, when they're connecting virtually, via the internet I'm talking about, okay? Via the internet. Locally is different. So remotely, they are using IP addresses for what? For recognition purposes. Okay, because my device is communicating with Midul device. So how exactly my device is understanding Midul device? Okay, if there is no address, if there is no identification, how will Midul device will understand my device and my device will understand Midul device, right? Okay, so for that purpose, we use this IP address so that these devices can communicate with each other using this IP address. So they recognize each other. Okay, just like you people have a name. So there are Ajmal, Adul, Yadu and all is, all people are joined in my class. Okay, so let's say Ajmal doesn't have a name. How am I supposed to call him? How will I call him? How will I address him? Right? Same. Okay, a device must have an IP address when they connect to internet to communicate, else I cannot. Okay, is it clear for you? IP address?
Yes.
Okay, yes. So there are so many, like there is private IP address, public IP address, static IP address, elastic IP address. There are so many classes of IP address. It's like a lot of things. Ajmal, you might have studied in CCNA, right? The classes of
Yes.
IP, the
Yes, yes.
subnetting, right? Yeah,
Yes.
it's a long topic. Okay, however, we will discuss a bit of it in the in a service known as VPC. There is a VPC, service that we are discussing. At that time, we'll discuss a bit more. But currently, I'm not discussing much. But I hope you have understood what is IP address. Okay. Now, currently, whatever you see over here, no, this is private IP address. Okay, how did I understand this is private IP address? Okay, maybe it is written over here, that's why, yeah. Okay, not only that. Okay, not only that. Because when it comes to IP addresses,
Starting
there is,
from one
yeah,
side.
yeah, exactly. There is a range. We will discuss that. There is a range for it. Okay, there is a range that, it belongs to private IP. There is this range belongs to this public IP and all is there. Okay, so we'll discuss that. However, whatever you see over here is not a public IP. It's actually the private IP of that machine. Okay, one thing you need to understand that when you connect a device to an internet, there will be two IPs. One is private IP for that machine and public IP. So why do they need both? I'll tell you. Okay, later. Or if you want, you can try and do a little, ChatGPT and come. Okay, why do they need two IP address, public and private? Okay, simple thing only. But however, this whatever you see over here is a private IP address. Okay, fine. This is a variable, that's why I'm putting in a bracket. Private IP address. Okay. Okay, then there is another area. So this particular symbol, you can call it as, I don't know what you call it as. Either you can call it as a negation symbol, or you can call it as a tilt symbol, or what? Approx symbol or whatever. So this symbol, okay, this symbol is representing something else. I'll tell you the position of that particular area, no? That particular area is actually representing something known as directory name. Okay, you might be wondering what is directory. I'll tell you. Okay, and this dollar symbol also has to say something about whether you are working as a normal user or whether you're working as a administrator. Okay, because if you're seeing dollar symbol, then you need to understand that you're working as a normal user. Okay, but if you can see hash over here, then that means you're working as a administrator. That's the main difference. Okay, fine. Let me explain you what is directory. Okay. So when it comes to Linux, okay, there is different types of files. Okay, I'm going to discuss about only three. There are mainly two main files that you need to understand. One is a regular file. Another is directory file. Directory file. Okay, one is regular file and another is directory file. What is regular file? A regular file means a file that contains data. Okay, contains data. For example, a text file. Okay, a text file or a character file. Okay, anything that contains some data. That's it. Okay, an image file, a Word file or a PDF file, whatever. A file that contains data. That's it. That's a regular file. Or you can also call it as a normal file, or you can say ordinary file. These are all some different meanings. Now comes directory file. Okay, so it's like, in Windows, we have files and folders, right? Folders. What is folders, everybody? What is folders in Windows? Folderum ഒരു file തമ്മിൽ വ്യത്യാസം എന്താ?
Files containing folder.
Exactly. Like inside the folder, you will have multiple files and might have multiple folders, right? Okay. Same. Here, whenever I'm saying directory, in Linux, what I'm actually referring to, I'm referring to folder. 1 second, everybody. Hello. Good afternoon. Who is this? Okay, sorry. Okay, folder. Okay, so in Windows, whatever you say folder, no, that's what it is. Directory means. Okay, so whenever I'm saying directory, please remember I'm talking about folder. Okay, a file that contains what? Another file or another directory. Directories. Okay, fine. So whenever I'm saying directory, please understand that it is folder I'm talking about. Okay, fine. So whatever you see over here is representing a directory name, meaning that currently in which folder are you working? That's what it is. Okay, let me just give you an example when it comes to Windows. If you go to your file explorer, currently if I go to somewhere, desktop, other, okay, currently in which folder am I working? In which folder I'm working currently? Can anybody say?
Personal, desktop, and other.
Other is the folder I'm working currently, right? Yes. How did I understand from this breadcrumbs? Correct. So when you just click on it, you can see a path. Okay, right? So you can able to see that you're working in other. And where exactly other? It is in desktop. Where exactly desktop? OneDrive. In which user? AWS user. Okay. So that's a path actually, where exactly your folder is. However, currently you're working where? In other. Right? Same thing. Okay, same thing here also. Where exactly you're working currently? Okay, that there's another discussion. That is tilde symbol means what? Okay, I'll discuss that. However, what exactly is being mentioned over here is a directory name. Okay, is it understood? This particular prompt, everybody?
Yes.
Okay, Ajmal, is there anything you want to add on?
No.
Yeah, same thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me tell you, what is this negation means? Okay, what is Ajmal negation, you know?
Root.
Root ano?
Root alla.
Actually, it's representing what? It is representing
Present direct. Present.
user directory. Yeah, user directory. Negation is representing user directory. Okay, so who is the user? Who is the user we are currently working on? Can anybody say from this prompt?